Why is that gross?
Restate the comment. That sounded really gross.
Okay, I'll pull it back.
You said that men prefer younger women because they have less baggage.
Yes, that's a gross.
Bruh.
No, gross
Gross
isn't.
to target younger women because they have. It's predatory. It's extremely predatory.
Yeah, it also sounds pretty logical. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, hey, I'm like, yeah, could they come with less trauma? Yeah, they may come with the same trauma as an older girl. But 9 times out of 10, less life experience equals, well, less trauma.
How's it predatory? And
To target younger women because they have less experience. So that's something that like abusers and groomers purposely say they look for victims. They look for people that are less experienced.
So this is the feminist loaded language. So
you earned that green in your hair.
Yeah.
So you use the term targeted, predatory, right?
Yes.
So couldn't I just say that women target wealthy and successful men and they're predatory for targeting wealthy and successful men?
Yeah.
Or is it just the reality, the sort of evolutionary biological reality that women tend to be attracted to men of status, men of means? There's a couple reasons there. One, a guy high status could have certain benefits to her and her children, right? So why is that any different than men preferring a younger woman who would be a better partner because she's
not a better partner because she's younger. She's just easier to manipulate.
No, like I said though, but wouldn't a girl be a better partner if she came with less baggage? Wouldn't she be, I guess, more malleable, more, I'm gonna be real with you, yeah, she'd be more coachable, she'd be more teachable. You'd be able to, I guess, steal more of your ideals than, I ain't gonna lie, what she's been fed for all these years. So, yeah, what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but they damn near goes the same for human beings, except it's not so literal. Now, you can actually teach an old person new tricks or an old person new ways. It's going to be harder to pull them out the ways they've been setting for so long. So a lot of guys don't want to deal with that headache, and they just rather be like, okay, I could deal with like my age and let's say that's the 25 to 35 range. Let's say that. Let's say I'm dealing within my age group, and the women around here, yeah, they're going to have a little bit of trauma. They're going to be stuck in their ways, or they're going to be pretty good because they had a pretty good upbringing. Now, I'll be able to avoid a lot of that drama if I just, I don't know, maybe take it back one age group. I'm going to say that 20 to 24.
That's genuinely a thing that happens.
I could actually make this
like
other
very,
argument.
very often.
Actually, so I could make another argument. So a woman who's, say, 33 and still single, she is perhaps, because of, the time clock when it comes to pregnancy, look, you can get pregnant well into your late 30s, 40s. I can actually just make this argument about easier to manipulate. A woman who's a little more pressed to get into a relationship, she's easier to manipulate because she's like, time's ticking.
Yeah.
And I can manipulate, hold on, let me make the argument.
Okay.
I can manipulate her better because she has a greater
okay, so he's pretty much talking about playing on her biological time clock. Like, well, you're saying I could play on a younger girl. Well, I could also run the same game on it. Like, look, the same game I could run on a 20-year-old girl, the same game I could run on a 29-year-old girl. Honestly, not really the same game, because I'm playing on a 29-year-old's biological clock. I'm going, well, she's going to be a bit more thirstier to get this relationship in and get some things producing because, well, she's running out of time. The 20-year-old, I'm not going to be able to run the same game on because, well, she got all the time in the world. She got time to mess up and all that good stuff. She's not really feeling so pressed. Now, if you want to play on, I guess what? You say, oh, she's more naive. She's less experienced in life. Sure, you could say that. But at the end of the day, she's a grown adult who make her own choices.
Easier to manipulate.
That example also sounds like you're a gross person.
That
example is not less gross.
Does not make him sound like gross.
But you're saying
you're making him sound predatory.
But you're saying
well,
by
he's saying that this person is purposely manipulating a woman that is
he's not manipulating anything.
I'm saying
he used the word manipulation.
No. You made the claim that younger women are easy to manipulate, but I could say that
they are.
Right, but hold on. I am making the argument that You could manipulate somebody.
Sweetheart, do you know there are older women who get swindled out of money just like they're 18? Like, bro, there's scams that you can run on older women that a younger girl would never go for. And there's scams you can run on a younger girl that older women can never go for. Like, both sides can be easily fooled depending on who the person is.
At an
and it's the same for men.
Older age for other reasons.
Yes, that's also disgusting and predatory, but also
right, so
that's also not an overwhelming problem in our society.
But why do you jump to the
Neither
conclusion?
is age gap relationships.
Why do you jump to the conclusion that a man who wants?
I got hit on considerably more by older men when I was 16 than when I was 18.
Interested in talking about.
We're not talking about that.
I'm talking about adult relationships. So we're talking about 18 and over.
So we'll talk fresh 18.
So young woman means
what
adult.
What does fresh 18 mean?
They just turned 18.
So what? Can they vote?
Yes, but your brain is not fully developed
then
until
why are you voting?
25.
Then why are you voting at 18?
Because it's different.
Why?
Because so first of all,
so
that
you
law
can
is,
you can vote to affect my life.
Do you know why that law is set into place and why 18 is considered an adult? It's so that they can enlist young people into the military because based on our physical,
young
people. No, sweetheart, young men. No. They weren't aiming for y'all. They told y'all to stay y'all ass at home in the kitchen. They told us to hop out on the battlefield. So no, we don't want to hear that. But yeah, okay.
Or men.
Okay. Young men into the military because at 18 is when they are physically able to serve.
Nope.
That is
actually 16-year-olds.
It is not. It is not.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, sweetheart. You ever heard of a child soldier? Man, they got child soldiers out here shooting. Look, they got child soldiers in Africa somewhere shooting AK-47s better than some military men right now. I'm telling you, bro, they exist. They exist. Well, maybe not better than the military men, but they strapped up like one.
Based off of
12,
18 is fully formed. Your brain is not fully formed
so
until 25.
You're fine.
Now, I'm not saying that any 26-year-old going for an 18-year-old is predatory and problematic. However, that is a big issue that I do see often. I do see a lot of women, young women, 18 women, fresh into the dating scene, getting taken advantage of by 30-year-olds.
How do you know
that is so common.
What evidence do you have that they're getting?
Okay, so she don't like the fact that 30-year-old guys are messing with the girls in their early 20s. Which, I'm gonna be real with you, as girls, look, man, I don't know why y'all girls don't speak up and just be real. Like, okay, look, we like older guys. I know. We like to bash these older guys and call them groomers and all this wild stuff, but yeah, we're the ones chasing them. Like, yeah, young girls, y'all the one are chasing them. Y'all chase older men, and that's perfectly fine. Do what you do. I ain't judging. I'm just saying, maybe you could tell the other girls for us of what's going on here, because they're acting like we're just chasing y'all, and the fact of the matter is, y'all just come to us. I'll be real with you. Most of the girls who hit on me is younger girls. Like, every trip. Like, if I ask the age of every girl that hits on me, it's probably going to be in the early 20s, like dead ass.
Taken advantage of. Is it simply by virtue of them dating?
Their experience.
How is that?
And they speak about it. And they speak about it. And
I'm talking about through the DMs, because you know these girls don't pull up on your own person. I'm talking about in your DMs.
Abusers and groomers specifically have been interviewed and have talked about the fact that they go for younger women because they're easier to mold.
You have to stop making every man as if they're like being predatory.
Actually, I'm willing
I
to
don't
totally.
believe every man is.
I'm totally willing to engage with this. I think
but
that.
But it is a problem.
I think at this point, this point is fine.
Not all men are abusers. Not all men are rapists. But overwhelming majority of women have had a negative experience with a man.
Totally
agree. That is fact.
Yeah, an overwhelming majority of men have a negative experience with women. It's like, well. And then what do you define by a negative experience? Because at this point, a negative experience could be just a bad date, and that's that. And that's not anything serious. Now, I need you to, I'd have to hold her down. Like, what do you mean a negative experience? Like, did the girl get hurt? Like, was she hit, abused, left out there in the middle of nowhere, or left out in the city she don't know where? It's like, let me know what type, because I need something extreme if you're saying that. Because if you're saying that she just had a bad date and that's a negative experience, and well, I'm gonna be rude with you. Go over there. We don't care.
Let's back up. I want to make sure I understand. When should women be considered adults?
I think women should be considered an adult and making adult decisions probably around 25.
Because of the prefrontal lobe?
Because of the prefrontal lobe, yes.
The prefrontal lobe that begins degrading immediately after 25?
I believe that
Hang on.
a woman
The
who is
prefrontal
25
lobe-
is very different
Yeah,
than a
hang
girl
on,
who's
hang
I don't know. I'd have to do further research. 'Cause I'm not sure if Andrew's really right about that one.
18.
Hang on.
That's so
Why?
different. Wildly different. They
Why?
have wildly different viewpoints.
Why are they different at 25?
They're inexperienced.
Okay, but
They have
no, that's not what you
experienced.
said.
lobe.
Wait.
And the prefrontal lobe is also a
okay,
factor.
so hang on. You, if you're going to make this justification, I need you to actually make it.
Okay.
Are you an adult at 25 because your prefrontal lobe is fully developed?
I would say that's a factor. It's also experience.
Okay, but experience is
And I would say-
Hang on.
It's a direct.
A 21-year-old
Experience
is like a young adult.
But experience is arbitrary. You can have 19, 18-year-olds
Yeah.
far more experienced than 25-year-olds.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is a factor for
because
sure.
that is so, there's no way that we could base adulthood on experience. There would be no test we could give for experience.
No.
So if you're looking for physicality, the prefrontal lobe is it?
See,
For physicality, yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I have to go off personal experience, and some of y'all viewers may agree with me on this, but yo, when you turn 25, it was something different. It was like something just like clicked in your head. Like it's like you all of a sudden had that sense of urgency. You all of a sudden had a better sense of self. Maybe it was just, the experience of 25 years on this earth. Maybe it was just that. Or maybe it could have been your frontal cortex finally forming and you developing, logical thinking and, more stepping into more yourself. I don't know, but that's just the experience I had when I was like 24, 25.
Yes.
Well, then if that is the case, don't you think that women should not be able to vote until 25?
I wouldn't say women shouldn't be able to vote. I would say.
Well, we're talking about women being able to consent. So you don't think they should be able to consent until they're 25?
I think voting. I'm not saying that no one can consent. I'm not saying no one can
But
vote.
I thought they weren't
I'm not
adults.
saying that every single woman that is 30, she's 18, he's a 30-year-old. I'm not saying every single instance
I'm not saying
is
that
a
either.
woman getting taken advantage
I'm
of.
just following your logic. Are they adults at 25
You're
or
not, because
before?
I feel like you're making a very broad blanket statement,
Because
and I'm not making a broad blanket
wait,
statement.
you
I'm
are.
saying this is a problem that is happening. There are men that
Yeah.
are doing this. Not all men.
So when are women
Not all men.
adults? When? When are they adults?
Adults, I would say a human. I would consider an adult woman 25.
If you consider them to only be adults at 25, why the fuck would you ever advocate that men or women can ever make any decision which would impact their life in the long term before the age of 25,
Because that's just
including consenting to sex?
Because that's just the world we live in.
That's not an answer.
And also, but the
Because
age,
it is.
the age of consent is also not 18. It depends state to state. It's very, very different.
Yeah, but I would guess that
Majority
you would
is
want to
18.
eliminate that for non-adults, right?
Actually,
Depends.
I think it's 18. Back in the day, what they used to say, you 18, you fair game at that point. Now, I know. I'm thinking like, but hey, that's what they used to say back in the day. Like, hey, as soon as you 18, girl, you fair game, you legal. I know, crazy, but that's what niggas was thinking.
Depends on the age range. I think an 18-year-old
don't want
having
a
sex with an 18-year-old is very different than a 30-year-old
Sure,
having
yeah,
sex
we'll-
with an
we'll go-
18-year-old.
we'll go with
I
that.
think it's very, very
Yeah,
different
we'll
dynamic.
go with that. But if you're not smart enough or competent enough or experienced enough to make a decision about who you want to sleep with, regardless of their age, why the fuck would we give you consent to sleep with anyone? You're not experienced enough to make those decisions, right?
Because it doesn't apply to all, and I'm not saying it applies to all. Again, I never said every
You said
single.
it.
I've never
You
said.
did say all.
I've never said.
I asked you
every
when
single
all women
situation.
are adults. When are all of them adults?
I guess. Okay, then I'll rechange my statement. It depends on the person. It depends
So
on
how
your
could you ever
definition of
create a
adult.
metric for it then?
I think that people who are 25 should be going for people who are around the same age range. I think it's a very huge red flag when men who are 23 and older are going for 18-year-olds, especially 18-year-olds there's 18-year-olds that are still in high school.
So?
They're graduating high school. So you think someone in high school should date someone who's a grown adult who has a 9-to-5 job?
When are they adults?
It's weird. It's weird. That's
Why
all
is
I'm
it-
saying.
what makes
It's
it- okay, let's
weird.
get
It's
into-
Hold on. Back up, baby girl. I need to hear you.
huge red flag when men who are 23 and older are going for 18-year-olds, especially 18.
Nigga, what? Dog. What, 23? Like 5 years. bro, what are you talking about? Niggas was doing that in high school. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Nobody, and y'all girls wouldn't say anything then. Y'all freshman girls would have loved to get picked up by a senior. So this person like 4 or 5 years. So I'm sorry, but nah, I ain't trying to hear it now. It's like, now we know it's jealousy at this point. Now we know. Because there's no way you're making that point. 23 going after an 18-year-old is like, well, aren't they both not 25? Aren't they both pretty much, by your logic, aren't they both not adults in your eyes, fully adults? So wouldn't they be compatible? 23, 18? Like, hey.
There's 18-year-olds that are still in high school.
So?
They're graduating high school. So you think someone in high school should date someone who's a grown adult who has a 9-to-5 job?
When are they adult?
What do you mean? Like, bro, there's 23-year-olds who are in college. 23-year-olds, yeah, you're right, are most likely doing their thing and working. You're right. She ain't wrong. It's just that, like, I don't really see what's wrong with it. I don't know. Like, y'all tell me what's wrong with an 18-year-old dating a 23-year-old man. Like, y'all would have to low-key put that in the chat for me or comment. Shit, let me know y'all thoughts on that one, because I think it's perfectly fine.
Weird. It's weird. That's
Why
all I'm saying.
what makes it okay?
Weird.
Let's get into this.
It's gross. It's weird.
Just saying,
and
it gives you the ick.
Valid.
It gives you the ick.
Yeah, it gives
Can
me
you give me an
the
actual
ick.
argument other than gives me the ick? Like an actual argument for why this is.
Yeah, because it sounds like you were just programmed to think this. So anytime you hear it, you're just like, ew. When it's like, well, if you actually think about it, is it really ill? Like, let's see. I'm pretty sure if the right guy pulled up on her, she's not going to care about that man's age. He could be 45. She's probably like 20 in her mid-20s, and she'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm on it. So I promise you, the right dude pull up on these girls, and they're going to change their whole argument, or they just going to, well, lie to themselves. Let's just say that.
It's wrong.
Yes, it puts a lot of women, and having that blanket, it puts a lot of women in very, very uncomfortable situations.
What are all the women that it
Okay,
puts
but that's, you haven't,
to be
hang
in
on.
that,
Every
why would
relationship
it
can
be
do
bad?
that.
They are choosing to make that decision.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that it's not gross. That doesn't mean that men that are purposely 30 years old targeting 18-year-olds are not a problem.
Shit,
Doesn't mean they're not a gross
do you
human.
All right, hold on. You moving the goalpost, baby girl. Now it's 23, now it's 30. 30 and 18 is a bit crazy. That's crazy now. I ain't gonna lie. That's a bit wild. You tripping, bro. But 23 and 18, that's not bad at all. Like, I'm just be real with you. Bro's just now starting to be in his adulthood. Girl just now starting to be in her adulthood. It's like they're kind of on the same level, value-wise and all. And let's be real, who's to say that an 18-year-old young lady isn't working? Like, shoot, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, when I was like 19, 20, I remember there was 18-year-olds that I was seeing that was working already. I was like, damn, 17 and working, whole job, like all that. So I'm just like, I don't know. It all depends on the girl as well. If the girl's 18 and she seems to, have her head on straight, I'm pretty sure that a 23-year-old guy would just dismiss the age if he feels like it's too young. But, as long as she's legal, he ain't caring, really. As long as she's legal with a good head on her shoulders, I'm pretty sure most guys are going to be okay.
Think that based on the fact
just
that.
because they legally can.
Okay, do you think that
it?
you should be able to outlaw it?
No.
Well, then how much of a problem could it be? Don't you usually outlaw behavior that's problematic?
All I said was gross. I said ew.
It's just
I disagreed with it. I can disagree with an opinion. That doesn't mean we're going to base a law off of my opinion.
Okay, so
I don't speak for an entire country.
Okay, so you don't think.
I speak for me. And I think that that's gross.
Yeah, you just think it's icky.
I think that's extremely icky.
Yeah, sure, but you don't actually have an argument.
And I think any 18-year-old, 19-year-old women that are watching this podcast,
I agree.
I would steer clear from men. I would say most men who are like 23 trying to date 18-year-olds, it's because they're unable to get women their own age because they lack maturity.
So let's.
No. I'm gonna be real with you. Most dudes date 23. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna play this like I said on myself. When I was 23-year-olds, like I said, girls my age didn't approach me for real. It would be girls younger than me that would approach me. So at this point, we got to turn it on the women. At this point, it's like, yo, when y'all was 18, y'all was trying to mess with niggas in their 20s. Bro, there was girls in high school, 16 years old, messing with niggas who was 20. Now, I don't know. Don't ask me how I know that, but trust me, I've seen some bullshit. But I'm just saying, like, it's just not really fair if that's the argument now. It's like there's no way you're just gonna say that. Oh man.
Move it back, okay, before you go off on these other diatribes, and we'll just stick with the one. Can you actually make a moral argument for why it would be wrong for a 30-year-old man to date an 18-year-old girl if they both consent to it?
No, it's like
that's wild. That's wild. 23 and 18, I can agree with. But like I said, we gotta blame it on the women too, though, because bro, guys, I know y'all know this, but it's usually younger girls that's gonna go for you. At your age right now, whatever your age is, it's usually younger girls who are gonna go at you more. Girls your age is going for older. Like, so if, like I said, back in the day when I was 23, it was mostly 18, 19-year-olds that was coming for me. Mostly, and be dead honest with you, when I was 23, I had my pick of the litter of the 18 and 19-year-olds. But the girls who were 23 were looking for the niggas who was 29, 30. The girls who are 29 and 30 are looking for the niggas who was 35, 40. It's like, that's just the way y'all women work. And at a certain point, we just going for what's biting.
like a red flag. So it's not like, it's kind of like you were saying with like a flight attendant. It's a red flag because there is flight attendants that maybe aren't sleeping with a bunch of guys, but there is a stereotype there that most of them are sleeping with a lot of guys. So no, not all 30-year-olds who are dating 18-year-olds have negative intentions. However, I would say a lot too. There is a stereotype.
Yeah, but I would make it.
There is a
I'm
lot
going to
of
give you the
conversation
caveat distinction. I would say that a flight attendant who is sleeping with a lot of men is doing something immoral.
Right.
Would you,
don't
give
think
me?
a 30-year-old
Would you give
taking
me?
advantage of an 18-year-old?
Yeah. So I'm asking. So I'm asking you to make moral argument like I just did.
Right.
That thing immoral. What about 30-year-old with 18-year-olds actually immoral?
When they're both consenting.
Yeah.
It's just really the fact that you don't see a problem with it is insane.
Just say it's
It's
icky.
insane to me.
It's icky.
It's insane
Age
to
is
me.
nothing but a number.
It's insane to me that
I'm a
it's insane to
23-year-old
you.
and I would never date an 18-year-old in high school. I think
That's you, sweet. I told you. You see? Okay, now I see where she's coming from. She's coming from, well, if I was a 30-year-old woman dating an 18-year-old boy, I think that'd be weird. And I'm just like, okay, you're thinking of it in your way. See, nah, sweetheart. You're 23 and you're gonna want to date an older guy. You're not gonna try to date a guy your age, just like, and I get it. You're also not gonna date a guy that's younger than you, obviously. Obviously, you said it right now, but let's be real. I'd have to ask her, well, if you got a boyfriend, what was your last boyfriend? I guarantee she says something like, well, maybe 27, 29.